All right,
That's
Missy,
false
I want
imprisonment.
you to stop talking, or you can go upstairs to the county jail.
Your
No,
Honor,
thank you.
it is your oath to explain the nature and cause of the allegation against me. Are you failing to do that
All
for the
right,
record?
you can either walk out the front door with the officers, or you can walk upstairs to the county jail with the officers. The choice is yours. Either
Your
leave
Honor, I'm trying
peacefully
to
or leave
understand.
disruptively.
I'm
Well,
not
that's
being
why an
disruptive. I'm
attorney
just
can
trying to
help.
understand the nature and cause of the
All right,
charges against me.
officers, I'm gonna
What
close
am
this
I doing? I'm
case.
sitting here trying to understand the charge.
If he gives any more grief,
All I'm asking is to understand the charges. I don't know what jurisdiction is these charges being brought to me under.
Ms. Gillette, I'll see you at 3:30 docket.
Your Honor, can I please go home? Your Honor, can I please go home? I'll leave.
All right. Well,
Can I go home?
I left it up to them, and I left it up to you, and then they were to behave accordingly.
And you get a
No, we're
speeding
not going
ticket.
to do that, sir. I just need to.
All I want to know is the fine. Like normally when you get a ticket or a citation, somebody
I've
give you
told you that. I've told you that.
when you held me in contempt, they went out and searched my car, which was a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. They never issued me a search warrant. They never told me my vehicle was suspected in a crime investigation or any kind of criminal intent or doing anything. So my car was searched.
Well, I think as I understand it, you were put on lockdown because you wouldn't go through booking and processing. They couldn't get you entered into their system.
No,
But you
well,
refused to get your fingerprints, and you refused to uh, get your photograph. And rather than manhandle you and wrestle you and get you to take your pictures and prints, they had to just put you somewhere safe until you would cooperate. But
but that
that's
wasn't the
what I've
case.
heard. I don't know that for a fact.
Well, well, if you look at the video, that is inaccurate. When I came in, I was told I was
Oh,
gonna
well,
be.
okay, sir. We'll talk about that just a little bit. Okay, well, Missy, there's no one else hanging around like,
No, Mr. Johnson has called again this morning, and
oh, yes,
he's
yes.
supposed to be faxing something. My fax machine just went off, so let me see what it is.
Is this the individual who's
This
a
is
sovereign citizen type
sovereign
claim?
citizen military. Yes, and he is really military.
Sovereign citizen in the United States military?
Yes, I have something he sent us. Let's go ahead and go on the record. 2024 TR 541, State of Kansas versus Danny Lewis Johnson. Paul E. Dean for the state. Mr. Johnson fails to appear. Mr. Johnson he's filed several pro se motions. I'm not quite sure what they're saying or what his goal is. One is titled Affidavits of Records of Request. That may just be he's seeking discovery of documents, some which he may be entitled to, others I think not. And then he has something, it's addressed, it says notice of principals is notice to agent is notice to principal, and it's addressed to the Honorable Phyllis K. Webster, and they are on file. I thought he would take them up today, but yesterday a woman called for him, a Loretta Davis, claiming I think to be his spouse, telling us that he was going to be in surgery today, and both the clerk and Missy conveyed to her, and then later to Mr. Johnson, someone calling in as Mr. Johnson himself, that I needed verification. So he has given me yesterday something from Novant Health, Novant Health, and it's a document with some information about him that does show active or does show military status, active duty one, and some other information. And it says he admitted with a central stenosis of the spine, but I told him I need to know more than just what that docket showed. So just now, Missy received a fax dated September 27, 2024, showing Danny Johnson as patient. Date of visit 9/25/24. To whom it may concern, it is my medical opinion that Danny Johnson should be excused from court due to hospital stay. Discharge date to be determined. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to call. Sincerely, David A. Henderson, MD, and the letterhead is that Novant Health logo, but I don't see that it shows. Okay, well, that looks like it's stamped with a NHCOH Orthopedic Special Care Unit in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I think he must be in North Carolina getting some type of surgery. So I had told him to be here in person because of his prior history and contemptuous behavior. Mr. Dean, any objection to what I think might amount to a request for continuance?
If the court believes what we've been provided is authentic, I'm not going to object. But
well, I wouldn't state
spinal narrowing of the spine is what it sounds like. I don't really know what type of surgical procedure that would have been all of a sudden just scheduling. That would seem to be an issue that he should have known about when these cases were set back on August 20th. In any event, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt at this point in time. I asked that we set this over to October 25th. Could you be so kind, since you've got that information? I don't have that info in front of me, either you or to call that doctor, just find out what that discharge date was. Because, I mean, this is just Zoom. I mean, I don't see you could Zoom from your hospital bed. But I'm not suggesting that's appropriate at this time because I don't know enough.
Are we talking about Mr. Johnson? I was on the phone with Mr. Collins. He's trying to get in.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy's having surgery. I've talked to him like 3 times in the last 2 days. He's had
Talk to Mr. Johnson.
Yes, talk to Mr. Johnson. He called me again this morning, and I asked him about the documentation, and he said that he took the fax number down, and that's what he just faxed me, and said he was having surgery today.
Well, let's make sure that Mr. Dean gets copies of both documents that I have here. Let's make sure they're both filed.
Okay.
And then if we can take this up again, both these cases up October, well, to October 25th. At what time do you want to do this? 9 again?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. These are both set. And then just if you'll email these over to Mr. Dean.
I will.
Thank you.